The tragic death of Princess Diana on August 31, 1997, remains one of the most heartbreaking and controversial events in modern history. The world was shaken by the sudden loss of the people's princess, who was known for her compassion, grace, and dedication to humanitarian causes. The circumstances surrounding her death, the events leading up to it, and the various theories that have emerged since continue to captivate public interest. In this extensive account, we will explore the details of the tragic accident, the mysterious Repossi ring, and the alleged threats Diana had received regarding her car's brakes being sabotaged. On the evening of August 30, 1997, Princess Diana was in Paris with her companion, Dodi Fayed, the son of Egyptian billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed. The couple had been dating for a few months and had spent time together on Mohammed Al Fayed's yacht in the Mediterranean. That night, they dined at the Ritz Hotel, owned by the Fayed family, before leaving in a Mercedes-Benz S280 to go to Dodi's apartment near the Arc de Triomphe. Accompanied by driver Henry Paul and bodyguard Trevor Rhys-Jones, Diana and Dodi left the Ritz shortly after midnight, attempting to evade the paparazzi who had been following them all day. The decision to use a different exit from the hotel, along with a decoy car, was made in an effort to shake off the relentless photographers. However, the plan backfired, and a high-speed chase ensued. As the car sped through the streets of Paris, it entered the Pont de l'Alma tunnel at an estimated speed of 65 miles per hour. At around 12:23 a.m., the car crashed into the 13th pillar of the tunnel. The impact was devastating. Henry Paul and Dodi Fayed were killed instantly. Princess Diana, who was sitting in the back seat without a seatbelt, was critically injured. Trevor Rhys-Jones, the only survivor, suffered severe facial injuries, but later recovered. Emergency services arrived at the scene within minutes. Diana was still alive, though barely conscious. She was rushed to the Pitié-Salpêtrière hospital, where doctors fought to save her life. Despite their efforts, she succumbed to her injuries at 4 a.m. The cause of death was later determined to be internal bleeding and cardiac arrest. In the days and weeks following Diana's death, numerous details about her personal life emerged, adding to the intrigue and speculation surrounding the tragedy. One of the most significant revelations was the existence of the Dis-moi oui, tell me yes ring, a diamond and emerald ring designed by the Italian jeweler Alberto Repossi. The ring, which had been purchased by Dodi Fayed just days before the fatal accident, was widely believed to be an engagement ring. According to reports, Dodi had intended to propose to Diana on the night of August 31st, and the couple had even selected the ring together during a visit to Repossi's boutique in Monte Carlo. The ring itself was a stunning piece of jewelry, featuring a large emerald-cut diamond, flanked by triangular diamonds, set in a platinum band. It was part of Repossi's Dis-moi oui collection, which was designed to symbolize love and commitment. The choice of an emerald as the central stone was particularly significant, as it is a gemstone associated with protection, love, and healing, qualities that Diana, who had endured so much turmoil in her life, may have found comforting. However, the existence of the ring and its intended purpose remain subjects of controversy. While Mohammed Al Fayed has consistently maintained that his son planned to propose to Diana, other sources have cast doubt on this narrative. Some have suggested that Diana was not interested in remarrying and that her relationship with Dodi was not as serious as it was portrayed. The controversy surrounding the ring deepened when it was revealed that the jewelry had been altered after Diana's death. Repossi claimed that the ring had been resized and the band had been changed, leading to speculation that it was done to make it more marketable or to fit a different narrative. The ring was eventually returned to the Al Fayed family, where it remains to this day, a poignant reminder of what could have been. Princess Diana's life was fraught with challenges, both public and private. Her marriage to Prince Charles, the heir to the British throne, was marred by infidelity, media scrutiny, and a growing sense of isolation. After their separation in 1992 and eventual divorce in 1996, Diana became increasingly independent, focusing on her charitable work and raising her two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. However, with her newfound freedom came a heightened sense of vulnerability. Diana was acutely aware of the dangers she faced, both as a member of the royal family and as a global icon. In the years leading up to her death, she reportedly received numerous threats, including ominous warnings about her safety. One of the most disturbing claims that emerged after Diana's death was the allegation that she had been warned about the possibility of her car's brakes being sabotaged. This claim was first brought to light by Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, in his 2003 book, A Royal Duty. According to Burrell, Diana had confided in him about a letter she had written to him in October 1996, just 10 months before her death. In the letter, Diana expressed her fears that there was a conspiracy to get rid of her in a car accident, specifically mentioning the possibility of brake failure as a means to achieve this. The contents of this letter, which became known as the Mishcon Note, named after Lord Mishcon, Diana's solicitor who had also been informed of her concerns, fueled speculation that her death was not a tragic accident, but rather the result of foul play. The letter read,
"This particular phase in my life is the most dangerous. My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure, and serious head injury in order to make the path clear for him to marry."
The chilling nature of the note and its specific reference to a car accident led to widespread speculation that Diana's fears were well-founded and that her death may have been more than just a tragic accident. Lord Mishcon, Diana's solicitor, took her concerns seriously enough to document them in a meeting with the Metropolitan Police Commissioner shortly after her death. However, these claims were not thoroughly investigated at the time. The note itself only came to public attention years later, adding fuel to the fire of conspiracy theories that Diana's death was orchestrated by powerful forces who saw her as a threat. In the wake of her death, French authorities conducted an extensive investigation into the accident. After 2 years of inquiries, they concluded in 1999 that the crash was caused by a combination of factors. Henry Paul's impaired driving. He was found to have been under the influence of alcohol and prescription drugs, the high speed at which the car was traveling, and the aggressive pursuit by paparazzi on motorbikes. However, this conclusion did little to quell public suspicion. Mohammed Al-Fayed, Dodi's father, was particularly vocal in his belief that the British establishment was involved in a plot to kill his son and Diana. He maintained that they were murdered to prevent them from marrying, which he claimed would have been an embarrassment to the British royal family due to the fact that Dodi was Muslim. In 2004, the British government opened an official inquest into Diana's death, led by Lord Justice Scott Baker. The inquest, which lasted from 2007 to 2008, was one of the longest and most publicized in British history. It examined hundreds of witnesses and reviewed mountains of evidence, including the infamous Mishcon Note. The inquest's findings echoed those of the French investigation. The crash was a result of negligent driving by Henry Paul, compounded by the relentless pursuit of the paparazzi. The jury returned a verdict of unlawful killing due to the gross negligence of Henry Paul and the photographers. However, they found no evidence to support the theory that Diana had been murdered, nor that her car had been tampered with. In addition to the Mishcon Note, other accounts suggest that Diana had grown increasingly fearful for her safety in the years leading up to her death. Friends and confidants reported that she often spoke of feeling watched and of her belief that she was being targeted by powerful forces. Her butler, Paul Burrell, who was one of her closest aides, later wrote in his book A Royal Duty that Diana was convinced her life was in danger. In one instance, Diana told Burrell that her bodyguard, Barry Manicky, who died in a motorcycle accident in 1987, had been bumped off. She believed that his death was orchestrated because their close relationship was deemed inappropriate. This incident, along with others, reportedly contributed to Diana's growing sense of paranoia. Diana's fears were further compounded by the intense media scrutiny she was under. The paparazzi hounded her every move, making her feel like she was living in a constant state of surveillance. This relentless attention not only contributed to her anxiety, but also created a situation in which her every action was scrutinized and often sensationalized. The Dis Moi Ui Repossi ring, central to many theories surrounding Diana's death, was thought to symbolize a new chapter in her life. While it was never confirmed that Diana and Dodi were officially engaged, the fact that Dodi had purchased such a significant piece of jewelry so shortly before the crash led many to speculate that he was preparing to propose. Repossi, the jeweler, later confirmed that Dodi had indeed purchased the ring from his boutique in Monte Carlo. There were reports that Dodi had planned to propose to Diana in Paris, possibly on the very night of their deaths. The ring was discovered among Dodi's possessions after the crash, leading to further speculation about the seriousness of their relationship. However, those close to Diana, including some of her friends and former staff, were skeptical of the engagement rumors. They pointed out that Diana, who had only recently finalized her divorce from Prince Charles, was not necessarily ready to rush into another marriage. Additionally, Diana had reportedly expressed that she wanted to focus on raising her sons and continuing her humanitarian work, rather than entering into another high-profile relationship. Despite these doubts, the ring remains a potent symbol of what might have been. It also serves as a poignant reminder of the tragic loss of two lives that were cut short too soon. More than 2 decades after her death, Princess Diana's legacy endures. She remains an iconic figure, remembered for her compassion, her style, and her efforts to use her position to bring attention to causes close to her heart. Her tragic death, however, has continued to overshadow her life, with countless books, documentaries, and investigations continuing to probe the circumstances surrounding that fateful night in Paris. The conspiracy theories that have swirled around her death have never fully dissipated. While the official investigations concluded that her death was a tragic accident, many people, including prominent figures like Mohammed Al-Fayed, remain unconvinced. The Mishkan note and Diana's own words have been used to support the idea that her death was not merely the result of reckless driving and aggressive paparazzi, but part of a larger plot. The questions about the alleged brake sabotage, the true nature of her relationship with Dodi Fayed, and the role of the British establishment in her life and death have kept the public and the media engaged in a seemingly never-ending quest for the truth. The details of the Dismoiwi Repossi ring, meanwhile, add a layer of personal tragedy to the story, symbolizing a future that Diana never had the chance to live. The death of Princess Diana was a defining moment in modern history, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter for the British monarchy. Her passing not only highlighted the dangers of celebrity and the press's insatiable appetite for scandal, but also exposed the deep fissures within the royal family and the British establishment. The many theories and questions that have emerged in the years since her death reflect the complexities of Diana's life and the profound impact she had on the world. Whether or not there was foul play involved, the fact remains that Princess Diana's life was tragically cut short at the age of 36, leaving behind 2 young sons and a legacy that continues to resonate today. The mysterious elements surrounding her death, such as the Mishkan note and the Dismoiwi Repossi ring, add to the enduring intrigue. While the official narrative may be one of a tragic accident, the shadows of doubt and conspiracy ensure that the true story of Diana's death will remain a subject of speculation and debate for many years to come. In the end, Princess Diana's legacy is one of both triumph and tragedy, a story of a woman who sought to make the world a better place while navigating the treacherous waters of fame, royalty, and personal hardship. Princess Diana's funeral, held on September 6, 1997, was one of the most poignant and widely viewed events in modern history. The ceremony reflected not only the deep public affection for the people's princess, but also the complexities of her relationship with the British royal family. Among the most striking moments of the day was Queen Elizabeth II's unprecedented gesture of respect, curtsying to Diana's coffin. This act, while brief, carried immense symbolic weight, signaling a significant shift in the monarchy's relationship with the people and Diana's enduring legacy. The week following Diana's death was marked by an outpouring of public grief that took the world by surprise. Almost immediately after the news broke, people began flocking to Kensington Palace, Diana's London residence, to lay flowers, light candles, and leave heartfelt messages. The sea of flowers that amassed outside the gates became an iconic image of the nation's collective mourning. However, while the public's reaction was immediate and overwhelming, the royal family's initial response was more restrained. The Queen and other members of the royal family were at Balmoral Castle in Scotland with Princes William and Harry when the news of Diana's death reached them. The decision to keep the young princes away from public view and to maintain a low profile was initially met with widespread criticism. Many felt that the monarchy was out of touch with the public mood, leading to a growing sense of tension between the royal family and the people. It was only after several days of mounting public pressure that the Queen addressed the nation in a live broadcast on September 5, 1997. In her speech, she spoke as both a grandmother and a monarch, paying tribute to Diana's role as a mother and acknowledging the depth of the public's grief. This speech helped to ease some of the tension, but the perception of the monarchy had already been altered by the events of that week. On the morning of September 6, 1997, London was shrouded in a somber atmosphere as millions gathered to say their final farewell to Diana. The funeral procession began at Kensington Palace, where Diana's coffin, draped in the royal standard and topped with white lilies and a card from her sons that read "Mummy," was placed on a gun carriage. The procession made its way through the streets of London, passing significant landmarks such as Hyde Park, St. James's Palace, and Buckingham Palace. The journey to Westminster Abbey was slow and deliberate, allowing the massive crowds to pay their respects. The silence was occasionally broken by applause and cries of "Diana, we love you," as the coffin passed by. Walking behind the coffin were 5 key figures: Diana's ex-husband Prince Charles, her brother Charles, the 9th Earl Spencer, and her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, who were just 15 and 12 years old at the time. Also walking in the procession was Prince Philip, who had reportedly encouraged the young princes to take part in the procession, despite their initial reluctance. The sight of William and Harry walking behind their mother's coffin was one of the most heart-wrenching moments of the day. Their stoic expressions, coupled with their youth, highlighted the profound personal loss they were experiencing. It was a reminder that beyond the global outpouring of grief, Diana's death was first and foremost a devastating tragedy for her 2 sons. The funeral service itself took place at Westminster Abbey, a venue steeped in British history and tradition. The Abbey was filled with a mix of royalty, celebrities, political figures, and representatives from the many charities Diana had supported. Approximately 2,000 people attended the service, while an estimated 2.5 billion people worldwide watched the event on television, making it one of the most watched broadcasts in history. The service was a blend of traditional and contemporary elements, reflecting Diana's unique position as both a member of the royal family and a beloved public figure who had touched the lives of people around the world. The music chosen for the service included classical pieces by composers like Johann Sebastian Bach and Gabriel Fauré, alongside more modern selections like Elton John's "Candle in the Wind," which had been reworked for the occasion to honor Diana. Elton John's performance of "Candle in the Wind" 1997, with its poignant lyrics adapted to reflect Diana's life, became one of the most memorable moments of the service. The line, "Goodbye England's Rose, may you ever grow in our hearts," resonated deeply with those present in the Abbey and with viewers around the world. The song would go on to become one of the best-selling singles of all time, with proceeds donated to Diana's charities. Earl Spencer's eulogy was another powerful moment in the service. In a speech that was both moving and controversial, Spencer paid tribute to his sister's compassionate nature and her dedication to helping the less fortunate. He also made pointed remarks about the media's treatment of Diana, referring to her as the most hunted person of the modern age. His words struck a chord with the public, but were seen by some as a critique of both the royal family and the press. Princess Diana's death in 1997 sent shockwaves around the world, and her burial at the Spencer family estate in Althorp, Northamptonshire, has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories ever since. The decision to lay her to rest on a secluded island within the estate has sparked speculation and controversy, with theories ranging from the true location of her remains to the reasons behind the chosen burial site. The sheer number of theories, and the fervent belief in them by some of Diana's admirers, reflect both the enduring public fascination with her life and death, and the suspicion that surrounds many aspects of the British monarchy. Princess Diana was buried on September 6, 1997, at Althorp, the Spencer family's ancestral home, which is situated on a vast 13,000-acre estate in Northamptonshire. The burial site is located on an island in the middle of the Oval Lake, a secluded and tranquil spot chosen by her brother Charles, the 9th Earl Spencer. This location was intended to offer privacy, both for the grieving family and for Diana herself, away from the public and media scrutiny that had dominated much of her life. The decision to bury Diana at Althorp, rather than in a public or royal cemetery, was partly motivated by the desire to create a private place where her sons, Princes William and Harry, could visit without the intrusion of the public eye. Earl Spencer has stated that the island, which is accessible only by boat, was chosen for its beauty and tranquility, offering Diana a final resting place that reflected the peace she had sought in life. The burial site is marked by a simple white gravestone, inscribed with Diana's name, her birth and death dates, and a short, poignant quotation. A temple dedicated to her memory was also constructed nearby, and it houses an exhibition on her life. Every year, thousands of visitors come to Althorp to pay their respects, but they can only view the island from a distance, as it remains off-limits to the public. Despite the official account, numerous conspiracy theories have emerged over the years, questioning whether Diana is really buried on the island at Althorp, or if her remains were secretly moved to another location. These theories have been fueled by a combination of public fascination with Diana, mistrust of the British establishment, and the aura of secrecy that often surrounds the royal family. 1. The theory of a secret burial in London. One of the most persistent conspiracy theories is that Diana's body was not actually buried at Althorp, but instead secretly interred in London, possibly in a royal vault or another undisclosed location. Proponents of this theory argue that the Spencer family and the royal family conspired to keep the true location of her burial a secret to protect her remains from potential threats, such as vandalism or theft. Some theorists suggest that Diana was buried in Westminster Abbey, where her funeral was held, or in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle, where many members of the royal family are laid to rest. Others believe that her remains were placed in a secret vault beneath the Albert Memorial in Kensington Gardens, a short distance from her former home at Kensington Palace. The theory of a secret burial in London is often linked to the idea that the Spencer family's decision to bury Diana at Althorp was a ruse to divert attention from the real burial site. According to this theory, the elaborate security measures and the seclusion of the island were meant to create the illusion of privacy, while the real burial took place elsewhere under the cover of darkness. However, there is no concrete evidence to support these claims, and the theory has been widely dismissed by both the Spencer family and independent investigators. The logistical challenges and the level of secrecy required to carry out such a deception make it highly improbable. Moreover, the presence of Diana's grave at Althorp, visited annually by thousands of people, serves as a strong counterpoint to these theories. 2. The theory of a reburial at the Spencer family church. Another theory suggests that Diana was initially buried at Althorp, but was later secretly reburied in the Spencer family church at St. Mary the Virgin in Great Brington, a village near the Althorp estate. This church, where many of Diana's ancestors are buried, was considered a possible burial site from the outset, and some believe that Diana's remains were moved there in a private ceremony sometime after the public funeral. This theory gained traction when reports surfaced that the Spencer family had held a private service at the church shortly after Diana's death. Some believe that this service was, in fact, a reburial, and that the family chose to move her remains to the church to be closer to her relatives. Proponents of this theory argue that the church, being a more traditional and accessible burial site, would have been a more fitting final resting place for Diana. The idea of a secret reburial at Great Brington is often tied to concerns about the security and sanctity of the Althorp site. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the Spencer family feared that Diana's grave on the island might be disturbed or desecrated, prompting them to quietly relocate her remains to the church, where they could be better protected. However, like the theory of a secret burial in London, the reburial theory lacks substantial evidence. The Spencer family has consistently maintained that Diana's body remains at Althorp, and there has been no credible indication that a reburial took place. Additionally, the logistics of moving Diana's remains without attracting public attention would have been extremely challenging, further casting doubt on this theory. 3. The theory of a burial in the Spencer family crypt. A more specific variation of the reburial theory suggests that Diana's body was moved to the Spencer family crypt at St. Mary the Virgin Church, where many of her ancestors are interred. This theory posits that the family opted to bury Diana in the crypt, alongside her forebears, to ensure that she would be surrounded by her relatives in death. Supporters of this theory point to the long history of the Spencer family and their tradition of burying family members in the crypt as evidence that Diana's remains might have been relocated there. The crypt, being a secure and private location, would have offered a level of protection and reverence befitting a member of the Spencer family. However, this theory, like the others, is largely speculative and unsupported by verifiable evidence. The Spencer family has consistently denied any such reburial, and the official narrative remains that Diana is buried on the island at Althorp. Moreover, the crypt is a small and well-known location, making it unlikely that a secret reburial could have taken place without public knowledge. The persistence of these conspiracy theories can be partly attributed to the intense media scrutiny that surrounded Diana during her life and continued after her death. The public's fascination with Diana, coupled with the often sensationalist coverage by the tabloid press, has fueled speculation and mistrust regarding the official account of her burial. In the years following Diana's death, numerous books, documentaries, and articles have been published that explore various aspects of her life, death, and legacy. Many of these works have delved into the conspiracy theories surrounding her burial, sometimes giving them undue credence and perpetuating the myths. The role of the media in shaping public perception of Diana's death and burial cannot be underestimated. The tabloid press, in particular, has a long history of sensationalizing stories about the royal family, and Diana's burial has been no exception. The allure of a secret burial or a cover-up has proven irresistible to some segments of the media, leading to the propagation of unfounded theories and misinformation. Additionally, the secrecy and privacy surrounding the Althorp burial site have contributed to the speculation. The fact that the island is off-limits to the public, combined with the limited access to information about the burial, has created an air of mystery that conspiracy theorists have been quick to exploit. The Spencer family has been consistently dismissive of the conspiracy theories surrounding Diana's burial. Earl Spencer has repeatedly affirmed that Diana is buried on the island at Althorp and that the decision to do so was made with her son's best interests in mind. The family has also emphasized the importance of respecting Diana's memory and her final resting place. In response to the ongoing speculation, the Spencer family has taken steps to preserve the sanctity and security of the burial site. The island is carefully maintained and protected, with security measures in place to prevent unauthorized access. The family has also worked to ensure that visitors to Althorp can pay their respects in a respectful and dignified manner. Despite these efforts, the conspiracy theories have persisted, reflecting the deep public interest in Diana's life and death. The Spencer family's decision to limit access to the burial site, while understandable, has likely contributed to the ongoing speculation. However, the family has remained steadfast in their commitment to keeping Diana's final resting place a private and peaceful location. The broader impact of Diana's death and burial on the monarchy. The conspiracy theories surrounding Diana's burial are part of a broader narrative of mistrust and suspicion that has often surrounded the British monarchy. Diana's death, and the royal family's handling of it, exposed deep-seated tensions between the monarchy and the public, leading to a period of intense scrutiny and criticism. In the immediate aftermath of Diana's death, the royal family was criticized for its perceived aloofness and lack of empathy. The decision to stay at Balmoral Castle with Princes William and Harry, rather than returning to London to address the public's grief, was seen by many as evidence that the monarchy was out of touch with the people. The Queen's eventual decision to address the nation in a televised speech helped to repair some of the damage, but the incident, by 2024, Diana's life and legacy remain as relevant as ever, with her influence felt in areas ranging from fashion to philanthropy, and even in the ongoing challenges and evolutions within the monarchy. Princess Diana's life story, a narrative of a shy kindergarten teacher's assistant who became a global icon, continues to captivate people. Her marriage to Prince Charles in 1981 was billed as a fairy tale wedding, but the subsequent years revealed a much more complex and human story. The public's fascination with Diana has never waned. If anything, it has grown stronger with time. In 2024, Diana's legacy is still celebrated in numerous ways. Documentaries, books, and films continue to be produced, each offering new insights into her life, her impact, and the challenges she faced. The ongoing public interest in Diana also extends to her fashion choices, her humanitarian work, and her personal struggles, particularly her tumultuous marriage to Prince Charles, and her struggle to carve out her own identity within the confines of the British monarchy. One of the most significant and controversial moments of Princess Diana's life was her interview with BBC's Panorama in 1995. Conducted by journalist Martin Bashir, the interview was groundbreaking in its rawness and honesty. Diana spoke candidly about her struggles within the royal family, her mental health, and the breakdown of her marriage to Prince Charles. The interview is perhaps most famous for Diana's poignant remark, "Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," referring to Charles's long-standing affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. This statement encapsulated the pain and betrayal she felt and resonated deeply with the public, who viewed Diana as a victim of a loveless marriage and an indifferent royal system. The BBC interview was scandalous not only because of its content, but also because it broke with royal protocol. No senior member of the royal family had ever spoken so openly about such personal and sensitive issues. The interview had far-reaching consequences, both for Diana and the monarchy. It precipitated the final collapse of her marriage to Charles, leading to their divorce in 1996. It also significantly damaged the public's perception of the royal family, casting a shadow that would linger for years. In 2024, the BBC interview remains a focal point of discussion when examining Diana's legacy. It is seen as a pivotal moment in the history of the British monarchy, marking a turning point in how the royal family is perceived by the public and the media. The interview also highlighted the need for transparency and openness, a lesson that the monarchy has since struggled to fully embrace. Another iconic moment in Diana's life that continues to resonate in 2024 is her appearance at the Serpentine Gallery's summer party in 1994, wearing what has since been dubbed the revenge dress. On the same night that Prince Charles publicly admitted to his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles in a televised interview, Diana made her own statement, not with words, but with fashion. The dress in question was a striking, off-the-shoulder black silk cocktail dress designed by Christina Stambolian. It was daring, elegant, and a clear departure from the more conservative styles Diana had previously favored as a member of the royal family. The dress was originally deemed too daring by Diana, but she ultimately decided to wear it, creating a powerful visual statement. The revenge dress became an instant symbol of empowerment and defiance. It showed the world that Diana was not a passive victim, but a woman who could reclaim her narrative and assert her independence. In the years since, the dress has become one of the most iconic fashion statements in history, symbolizing resilience and the ability to rise above adversity. In 2024, the revenge dress is still frequently referenced in discussions about fashion and feminism. It is celebrated not only for its design, but for what it represented, a moment when Diana took control of her image and sent a clear message that she would not be defined by her husband's betrayal. The dress has inspired countless articles, retrospectives, and even replicas, cementing its place in both fashion history and popular culture. Beyond her personal struggles and fashion influence, Princess Diana's most enduring legacy lies in her humanitarian work. Her compassion and dedication to various causes set a new standard for what it means to be a royal. Diana's work with AIDS patients, her campaign against landmines, and her support for the homeless, among other causes, left a lasting impact that continues to be felt today. Diana was one of the first high-profile figures to publicly embrace AIDS patients at a time when the disease was highly stigmatized. Her willingness to shake hands with AIDS patients without gloves, a simple but powerful gesture, challenged the prevailing fears and misconceptions about the disease. This act of compassion helped to change public attitudes toward people living with HIV/AIDS and brought much-needed attention to the crisis. Her work in raising awareness about the dangers of landmines is another significant part of her legacy. Diana's visit to Angola in 1997, where she walked through a minefield wearing protective gear, brought global attention to the issue. Her advocacy played a crucial role in the eventual signing of the Ottawa Treaty, which banned the use of anti-personnel landmines. Although Diana did not live to see the treaty signed, her efforts were widely credited with helping to bring about this critical change. In 2024, Diana's humanitarian legacy is alive and well. Her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, have continued her work, supporting causes that were important to her and championing new ones. Prince Harry, in particular, has carried on his mother's legacy of compassion and activism, notably through his work with veterans and his efforts to destigmatize mental health issues. The influence of Diana's humanitarian work is also seen in the broader philanthropic efforts of the royal family, who have increasingly embraced issues of social justice and mental health. Princess Diana's influence on the British monarchy cannot be overstated. Her life and legacy have had a profound impact on how the royal family operates and is perceived by the public. In many ways, Diana forced the monarchy to evolve, challenging its traditions and pushing it toward a more modern, accessible image. In the years since Diana's death, the royal family has made efforts to embrace a more approachable and relatable image, taking cues from Diana's example. The Queen herself has become more visible and accessible, engaging with the public in ways that would have been unthinkable in earlier decades. Prince William and Prince Harry have also carried on their mother's legacy of connecting with people on a personal level, often speaking candidly about their own struggles and challenges. However, Diana's legacy has also highlighted the ongoing tensions within the monarchy. The difficulties she faced, her struggles with mental health, the media's relentless scrutiny, and the pressures of royal life have continued to resonate within the royal family. The rift between Prince Harry and the rest of the royal family, which has played out publicly in recent years, is often seen as a continuation of the challenges that Diana faced. Harry has spoken openly about the parallels between his experiences and his mother's, particularly in terms of the media's role in their lives. In 2024, the British monarchy is still grappling with the legacy of Diana. Her influence can be seen in the way the royal family engages with the public, the causes they champion, and the challenges they face. The ongoing public fascination with Diana has also ensured that her story remains a central part of the narrative surrounding the monarchy.